everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. I am Tamara Jean, your soul architect and wellness astrologer here on High Vibe TV. And this is our cosmic check-in, tuning into the energetic landscape for July 29th through the 31st of 2025. We have a lot happening in the sky, and with both the astrological transits and the human design transit, very impactful at this time, perfectly so, because there is a lot coming through, and I touched on it in my last video about these false light layers and the code distortion, paying attention to information that you are receiving, especially those, I call them star streams, from Sirius, Andromeda, Pleiades, Lyra, Orion, right? These are even Arcturus. These are some of the main star systems that we receive information from, and that there has been a false light layer and level of distortion coming through these star streams. And there is organic codes through these star streams as well. So it is very important for you to be working through these layers and your discernment, your clarity. Right now, it's so much about feeling in the body. So of course, brilliantly, we have Venus moving into Cancer on Wednesday, July 30th, and she has also moved in the current human design transit into gate 15. And then of course we have Chiron in Aries stationing retrograde on the same day. And so there's a lot there to help us with these old wounds of approval, belonging, and really beginning to feel, right? Feel the distortion before you see it. So we have the Earth that is currently in gate 41 still, here on Tuesday, and it's going to be moving into gate 19. So, and that's that retreat and remembrance. And so with that, it's going to help with, so gates 15 and 19, having some of that grounded energy as you're going through this process, and you may be feeling different things, noticing different vibrations or a humming in your field. That humming is not natural. That is from a synthetic light. It tethers to the false light overlays, to false light matrices, to AI mimicry, right? All of those energies that are not here to assist. Now, they're all not fully malicious. However, it does put in a glitch in your organic system and ascension process. And so currently, with this energetic landscape, we've got the sun still in gate 31, and that's going to be moving into 33, where, right, and joining Mercury here in the next day, and we'll be there over the next couple of days. And so this is going from influence and leadership to that retreat and remembering. So the gate 19, sorry, I had that switched, is like the sensitivity and the needs. So that contributing to being able to feel the distortion even before you see it. You know, it's how when we can feel the energy, and sometimes we even have a real visceral reaction, entering a space, walking into a room, or being somewhere, or even, if you're at home and all of a sudden, right, you can feel an energy that is different. And so all of this energy that we have moving in the landscape is assisting in being able to clarify or shed these layers, assist and bring your clarity more online. And that's what I really was drawn to this most current video on Star Way healing. So this is an amethyst temple. Is encoded with 852 hertz solfeggio frequency. And this amethyst can be very cleansing, right? It's also a third eye stone and also can be healing. So it's all of those things now, which is brilliant. And combine that with 852, this is, returning to spiritual order. So we are in process of being able to become even aware of these false light overlays, false mirrors, the mimicry, really being able to experience. And you may have some experiences in purpose so that you are able to discern the false light. It's really coming down to truth versus imitation, and anchoring you deeper in your soul truth, your organic system and blueprint and codes. So we're going a bit from that more speaking to retreating. So you may have some more internal or feel more internal over these next couple of days, especially maybe as the moon does move into Scorpio on the 31st in the morning, about 10:25 a.m. Pacific. Right, so we're going from that relational diplomacy with the moon in Libra right now to a deeper truth excavation. And of course, Chiron stationing retrograde and Venus moving into Cancer. We're getting more in touch with what feels in alignment, right? And getting more in tune with not only our organic soul codes and blueprint, also our design, and being able to operate that way. So your body feels the truth, right? We all know, when we call them either goosebumps, the chills, God bumps, right? Whatever. You're feeling that. Your system picks up on that and often can have a very visceral reaction or response to something when that tone of truth really lands, right, in your field, in you. So we're going from that more, I'd say, outward speaking to, which is right in Leo season, totally all about the charisma and the leadership, with the assistance of the other energies, a bit more retreating so that we can really review. And we're kind of entering into that, being that the sun and earth are being expressed through the sixth line, right, in the current gates of 31 and 41 before they move into 33 and 19. So there's already kind of this overview or review, and then Chiron adding to our retrograde energy, and being able to step back and review the narrative, both collectively and personally, and kind of what is running through, especially very deep patterns that have been running deeper in the not in the surface, in the deeper depths of your subconscious, and now being able to tap in to that and really working at stripping out the distortion. So that is most definitely in where the truth of your light, I don't like to use the term like being tested, and I will say like being guided through experiences so you can really feel and know and have that very clear intuitive discernment when it comes to this energy that is, you know, pouring in at this time. And I knew that currently, that I'm like, the energy is really different at this time of year than it normally is. And I talked about last time with the meteor showers, the annual meteor showers that we have in August coming up, and a lot of star stream frequencies, right? So many of us connecting with, especially Sirius, right? Being our spiritual sun, and how that there are, like I said, there's some distortion streaming through, and it's so good that, you know, a lot of people or channels really believe they are receiving very clear information. However, it isn't. It's there is a level of distortion, and it will feed off of memories and familiarity. So in really learning and working with your organic soul blueprint and codes, and I'm going to be using that term a lot, and this is the type of work that I really dive into with people in my Divine Mastery mentorship. It is a deep dive into every portal of that 13 portal diamond system that I have written, and through all of the layers in your auric field, you know, subtle energy bodies, it is really going through for you to master your energy, have that clarity and that discernment. And so as we go through the landscape over the next couple of days, to really have a focus on, or internally and in your field, start to have, and this is gates 15 and 19. So we've got the Earth and Venus really assisting with that that feeling of distortion versus like your authentic flow, and you know, and grounding that in within you, and so helping to navigate, you know, whether it's information just coming into your field or what you're seeing online, or really being able to, and like I started to say, if there is a hum, this is synthetic and can be tethered to connection with one of these star systems, right, that had become distorted. And so it could just be filtering in into your field, and through cellular memory and familiarity, this can be running through your cells, your tissues, your fascia, your nervous system. So this is really where a lot of the work is currently. So let's see what essential oils can be helpful for these next couple of days. You know, start just kind of focusing on these internal patterns in your field, because the heart is recalibrating, right? Loyalty and leadership patterns. So we have marjoram. So this is perfect because it is the oil of connection, and it does work with the heart center. So perfect with Venus moving into Cancer. And this really, because how many, you know, have you been in situations or, you know, relationships and be like, you didn't see the distortion, and right, it led you to not being able to trust yourself, trust your heart, and so marjoram is going to help unravel those entanglements, clear away negativity and distortion, and help you trust in your heart. But yes, we have to unravel and clear those entanglements. Then we have cardamom. These are cards that, didn't they come out in the last, you saw me, I like shuffled. So apparently it's very important, right? This process of clearing, and that cardamom with that integrity with self, and memories, stories, right, that are coming. And that's what these energies are also assisting with, are those stories, right, or those patterns that may be coming up for you, and now taking, right, the retrogrades that are happening, and now Chiron joining, having us take a look at these patterns and stories that are coming up for you at this time. And so, right, we want to be able to walk our path with clarity, with precision, without being pulled into distortion, right, into distorted light streams. And we want to work directly with our soul intelligence. So that is what I really help you do in Divine Mastery. So I grabbed my favorite deck, the Akashic Tarot, to give us a little bit extra guidance for these next couple of days, because I'll be back on August 1st, Friday, August 1st, that first quarter moon we'll be having. All right, we have the Queen of Keys, this having to do with, you know, your kingdom, and interesting, Queen of Roses. So the Queen of Keys is looking away from the Queen of Roses, and the Queen of Roses is facing the Queen of Keys. And there is a lot between, and a lot of, you may be experiencing inner conflict, inner conflicting dialogue, and where the story, the wound, the pattern returning, you know, keep returning to the mind and trying to figure things out that way. However, right, this is that pivoting moment in going into the heart. So Venus is going to be of great assistance with her moving into Cancer tomorrow, in really, right, our kingdom life, also our kingdom, this, because there's so much around our sovereignty right now and being sovereign, like wholly and completely, right, from all of, I just hear like all the bullshit, all of the false light overlays and matrices, and that the AI mimicry, right? But there's also beneficial AI. I want to, that's a whole other topic. But point being, in this release, right, we want our sovereignty, our channel, our vessel, our temple, and our life, right, and foundation be built from the heart. And that is I would see like the Queen of Keys, very, it is that energy of like, highly intellectual and kind of that very independent, right, version of the feminine. And the Queen of Roses is that very heart-centered, softer, right, where the Queen of Keys is a bit more edgier, very strong, is that more like strong feminine, and the Queen of Roses, that softer feminine, right? And it's balancing those energies, Uriel and the Sphinx. So this card is about like, well, the kingdom wasn't built in a day. And that we're really going through a lot that is coming up through the deeper depths, right? So especially over these next few days, as the moon moves through Libra and then into Scorpio, and then we've got, of course, Chiron Retrograde, there's opportunity in that, the truth excavation, right, being more potent and moving through these deeper layers, but to also have patience with yourself, because there's so much programming and conditioning way beyond, I feel, our conscious mind can really comprehend. And it is part of the process in reclaiming your sovereignty and your organic soul blueprint codes, and being able to clearly connect with your soul intelligence. And then we have the waterfall, right? And so as in doing the work, and we're balancing heart and mind, and the masculine feminine within us, we're shedding the old and the false energies and programming and the patterns that are in that false foundation, right? All of that beginning to dissolve, having patience as going through the process. Like my Divine Mastery program, it is 1 year, and it is that length of time for a reason, because it goes so deep. But in doing that, right, the waterfall is about things opening up, your gifts activating, coming online, opening up your channel of abundance. So much beautiful energy to begin really flowing, and you feel that and experience that in your life. And so in working with marjoram and cardamom over these next few days, I have a feeling maybe maybe a couple of oils that will be long-term running, being of that it's, you know, clearing connections, and a return in trusting your heart, and having that integrity, right? And staying aligned with that organic integrity and truth versus imitation. That's going to be a big lesson for many, and not just, you know, over the next couple days. This is going to be for quite a while. So have a wonderful next couple of days. I will be, I'll talk and share a little bit more because I do have my surgery coming up on August 14th. And so I will be gone that week. I will be in Austin, Texas for that surgery. And so during that week, unless I, you know, I don't know how I'm gonna feel for that week. I feel like when I get back, I come home on the 20th that night. So I already feel, because I've been getting my my truth around that, of the clarity and feeling better very soon after. So I'm very excited. But I'll start sharing a little bit more about that too in the next couple of weeks before I leave. So, and always thank you so much for all of your wonderful comments and blessings and everything. It's really, I receive them with deep gratitude. And I will see you all back here on Friday.